Alright, so I guess it's official. I'm gonna sell the Z. If you're new here, I mainly post videos about my S13, a little bit of skating, and sometimes about my Datsun 280Z. It's a 1975 Datsun 280Z that I bought in 2020, and honestly, it's my dream car. It's literally the car that got me into cars. Sure, I was surrounded by cars through my dad, and eventually got into it myself through skating with my friends who got into cars. I distinctly remember one year at JCCS, seeing the lineup of Datsuns, 240Zs, 260Zs, 280Zs, and I was just in awe with the shape and the way they looked, styling and all. I didn't know anything about cars, but for some reason that lineup just stood out to me. And that was really the spark of it all. Of course, I was too young and not knowledgeable enough to end up in a classic right off the bat, so that's why I got into cars like 240s. 240 SXs, of course. And then over the years, I would buy and sell cars until I eventually got the Datsun 280Z that I have now, back in 2020. It's been pretty much 5 years now, and the past couple years I've been pulling my hair out, almost literally trying to figure out what I want to do with it. No, I mean seriously, check this out. I literally have like a freaking bald spot in the back of my head. Does anyone know what this is? Thankfully my hair is long enough to cover it, but this isn't the first time it's happened. I don't know if something's wrong with me. It happened in freshman year of high school one time, but anyways. Okay, back to the story. Today, I'm gonna take the car for one final drive. I'm gonna take you guys with me, talk more about the why of me selling the car. I'm gonna talk about what I've done to it, and we're also gonna get some cinematics. And at the end, we're gonna talk about what's coming next. It's hard to believe that this is one of the final drives in this car. Yeah, this car's super low and there's no power steering, so whenever there's a bump, I gotta go slow and use all my muscles just to get the car sideways. It's kind of a cliche to describe a driving experience as visceral. But when it comes to a classic car, it's really the only way to put it sometimes. Turn signals on this car only work when they want. Right now they don't want to. This car is a pain in the ass, but you love it for its faults, like little squeak in the back, super loud, you can smell all the fumes. Sounds great though, especially when you're doing a pull. Damn, every time I do a little pull, it makes it that much harder to sell this car. All right, let's go. Just to put into perspective, I've owned over 20 cars and none of them have the same energy as this. They don't have that same vibe. Oh my God. I don't even need to do a full pull. I just need to step on it a little bit and it's like, damn, I'm messing up by selling this car. Let me know in the comments, should I sell it? But watch the video through first, because I'm gonna give you the reasons why. Sometimes you gotta hit it with the elbow. It's a must with a a classic like this, right? Slow down a little bit. Thank you. Old dude in the Boxster gave me the thumbs up. That's what I'm saying. This car is like, it's got its own energy, both inside and out while you're driving it, and like it emits its own aura, you know what I mean? Not to be so Gen Z with the lingo, but seriously, people love this thing. Let's do fourth, third, second, third. Oh, second. Whip a little donny? Nah, I'm just kidding. Let's stop right here. So there are two main reasons why I'm letting go of the Z. First reason is owning a classic car means you're maintaining it pretty much all the time. There really is no end when it comes to project cars, and that's no new news. It doesn't even matter if you have a modern project car, there's always something to tinker on. But especially when it comes to a car of this age, this is from 1975, things are old, everything's old. There's no question about a bushing being cracked or rust being hidden under a certain panel, suspension components needing to be replaced, engine being completely tired. So all of those things have been kind of ruling my life these past handful of years when it comes to this car. But then again, I've been putting up with it because this really is my dream car. And for the most part, I'm pretty happy with what I've done. All I could have ever asked for as a kid when I thought of the Z was to have it all in one color, lowered with a Type 1 air dam, coilovers with some SSR long champs, and that's pretty much what I did. But one thing that's been bothering me a lot is the way that it runs. Obviously, I drove it here, and you guys might not be able to tell, but it's not actually running on all 5 cylinders. Well, technically it is, but cylinder 1 has significantly lower compression than the rest of the cylinders, causing the engine to be a little more lumpy than it should. And with the innate design of an inline 6, it should be extremely smooth. When I'm stepping on it, the issue isn't really as apparent, but at idle, you could really tell. Okay, but it's still drivable, right? Yeah, I guess, but sometimes when I'm just sitting in traffic, or even just driving on the highway for that matter, I could smell that oil getting past the rings in that first cylinder and exiting the exhaust system and coming back into the cabin, and it just kind of bums me out. A big reason for that too is I spent a lot of time and money on converting this car to a modern fuel injection setup. When I first bought the car, it was on the original ECU, and over time it started to give me issues. So what I did was go with a standalone ECU. I went with a Mega Squirt, and I took it to a shop that was able to do that whole conversion for me. And I thought that was gonna fix all of the car's issues when it came to running. But once that job was done, I learned about the compression issue. So all that time and money just to hit another roadblock. Okay, well even then, the issue is still not that bad. You could overcome this, right? Well, that's why about a year ago, I picked up an L28 and got it rebuilt. I took it to a shop to get it rebuilt, mild cam, flat top pistons, completely resealed, yada yada. That was supposed to take an estimated 2 to 3 months. It's been 9 months and I just picked up the motor last weekend. At this point, this is the second time I relied on a shop to help me out on something, and it took way longer than expected. Now that I have that engine though, all I need to do is put it in, right? But truthfully, it's a lot easier said than done. there's still a lot of things that I would need to buy on top of the money I spent on the motor in order to get it in. And that's not even including the effort and time that comes out of my day into making it happen. For example, that swap would have to take place in Victorville, where my parents live, because I don't have space, time, experience, or tools to do that alone here. And I don't want to spend my entire summer doing that, really. And as for the final reason, as I've spent the past 2 years toying with the idea of maybe selling the Z, I've also spent that time really itching to get into drifting. A lot of my friends are getting into it. For my birthday this year, we rented out some 350Zs at Apple Valley Speedway. And as far as driving and cruising around town, I have the 240SX to do that. And sure, it's not the same vibe that I get driving the classic 280Z, of course. But honestly, that car is still super sick and it's reliable. There's a Corolla being super sketchy here, so I'm gonna go to a different location. I had to repark because some Corolla was doing circles around me at the last spot, but I just drove through Balboa Park and I had like 4 dudes give me a thumbs up and ask me what year this car was as I was driving through. So man, like, it makes it so hard to let go of this car because I meet so many people with this car and they always tell me about how they've had one, and it's just a Datsun thing, like 510 owners, Z owners. I know you guys can relate. I'm just gonna drive back home now, but might as well film it with this cool new angle, and I'm mic'd up, so y'all are gonna hear me yap a little more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Am I making the right decision or the wrong decision? Have you ever been in a position where you really didn't want to let go of a car because of its sentimental value, but you just had to? And if you were to sell this car to get a drift car, what would you get as a drift car? Because right now I'm looking at either an FRS ZN6 chassis, right? Or a 350Z. I think those are like the perfect learner chassis after talking to my friends who drift and who have had experience in them. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning FRS, style points alone. I know it doesn't have as much power, but I love the way they look. Has back seats. Seems like a little more of a nimbler chassis. A little more of that S chassis vibe to it, right? But 350Zs are pretty dang durable because I rented one for my birthday to go drifting at AVS, and it just kept going. We were beating the hell out of those. Like 7 dudes beating on 2 350s or 3 350s. So yeah, let me know what you guys think between those 2 cars. Am I missing something else? Oh, there's a freaking R34, dude. There's a freaking R34. Let's go peep it. What? Freaking R34 right there. Check out that R34. It's a GTS. Whoa, dude, you almost ran into me. I almost got ran into while peeping out the R34. Check it out. In white with the R33 wheels. Dang. That's sick. Damn, this car is fun.